Hello everybody. Today's video is going to be a video of all the things that I've experienced that I find weird, that are just different things and culture, not completely culture shocks, because most of these things aren't culture shocks, but just in general, things that I have found shocking or weird or different or just strange since moving to Berlin. So I come from Australia, and I've lived in Berlin now for 3 months. So I've been here a little while. It's not a super long time, but it is enough time to notice the differences. So let's grab a coffee and get talking. I've had to set a ring light up because obviously there's no sun in Berlin at the moment because it's winter right now. So obviously the winter here is so much colder than it is in Australia. We've already had snow, which apparently is uncommon, but also another thing that is super cool. I have seen snow before, but nevertheless, it is still really nice to see. Living in a cold country is definitely different to holidaying to cold countries, obviously, but I used to always really enjoy going to cold places for holidays. I'm definitely a summer person though, and being in this weather constantly, I definitely understand now the winter depression phase, I guess, and just, not getting enough sunlight, not being outdoors enough, because I'm definitely starting to feel it. And it has only been winter for like a month and a half, if that. So it's going to be a long, hard winter, but that is the first thing I wanted to talk about. Winter is no joke, and I'm not even in like a super cold country. But yes, that is definitely a very big difference from Australia. In Australia, I can just wear this hoodie and pretty much be okay in the winter. On that note, let's have a hot drink to warm up a little bit. Another thing I've noticed about Berlin is just how lively a city can be. So living in Australia, I was living close to Brisbane City, and I used to think Brisbane City was like a big city, a chaotic city, I guess, and there was lots of people there. And don't get me wrong, there are lots of people there. However, in Berlin, there's just people doing things at all hours of the day. Like I don't even know what they're doing. There's people riding bikes at 2 a.m. in the morning on a Tuesday night. Where are you going? What are you doing? I do not understand. On the trains and trams, it literally doesn't matter what time you get on it. It's very rare for it to be empty. Like, who are these people and what do they have to do all the time? It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, in saying that, it is a very lively city, but it also makes the city feel very safe because there are always lots of people around. In my experience so far, I've always felt super safe, and I've been walking around past midnight, all hours of the day and night by myself, and I've never felt unsafe. So yeah, that's really cool. The next one is about smoking. Smoking in Berlin and in other places of Germany that I've been to are way more common than they are in Australia. For one, you can smoke like outside at restaurants. In Australia, you're not allowed to smoke outside in the seating areas. You have to be like 4 meters away or something to be able to smoke. Or in Berlin, you are allowed to smoke in the seating areas that are outside, and in some bars and in the clubs you're allowed to smoke inside the clubs. You don't have to go outside to go to the smoking area. And so inside is like usually a bit of a hot box in some of the clubs that I've been to because they're very enclosed. They have smoke machines, people smoking, people vaping, just all things going around. Like sometimes it's like you can barely see anything in the clubs, but it's awesome. Another thing about the smoking is that there are ads for vapes and cigarettes, and they have cigarette vending machines. In Australia, they don't advertise cigarettes at all. So yeah, it is a bit different to see that they do have the advertisements for them. They also have lots of different, more diverse ads in Berlin, like in terms of like sex advertising and nudity. Like some ads are two men kissing or two women kissing, and then underwear, which is like just a man's genitals, not a man's genitals, like just a man in his underwear, like just like a full picture, like straight up, and it's just, yeah, nudity, sex, and ciggies. The next one that I have is a really good one, I find, which is leaving Pfant bottles / being able to collect Pfant. This is not exactly a different thing. In Australia, we also do have like a recycling collection thing that we do. It's not as easy as it is here though. In Germany, you can just bring it to a supermarket and then you get the money straight back there. In Australia, you have to collect it and bring it to a separate area. So usually people collect a big bunch, like wait till you have a decent amount and then you go and drop it off and collect your money for it. But here you can just bring it to a supermarket on your next shopping trip and collect it a lot easier. Also here you can collect like juice bottles, water bottles, Coke, beer, like so many more things than you can in Australia. So yeah, the recycling here and the Pfant is really good and really easy. And honestly, I find it super exciting to see how much I'm getting back, or try to guess how much I'm getting back. And yeah. The next one I'm going to talk about is a classic German thing, is the sparkling water. So in Australia, nobody really drinks sparkling water unless it's like a vodka soda. Other than that, nobody's just going to sit down. If you go to someone's house and ask for sparkling water, they're going to be like, no, we don't have that here. Like, why would we have sparkling water? But in Germany, sparkling water is a huge thing. Everybody loves it more than like still water. I work at a restaurant and no, like 80% of people order sparkling water. And to be honest, I never liked sparkling water until I moved to Berlin. Now I'm drinking it every day as well. So, I don't know, being in Berlin just does something to you. Being in Germany just does something to you. It just like makes you love sparkling water. But yes, it is super popular here, like way more popular. And they don't do tap water anywhere at restaurants. Like if people ask me for tap water, I have to say, no, you need to buy a bottle. Oh, whereas in Australia, you're just like, yeah, dude, of course you can have tap water. Anyways, there's one more thing that I noticed as soon as I came to Berlin, like in the first day or two, which was the rats. So, I don't know, ever since the first week, I don't think I've noticed it as much, but I do remember coming here and there just being so many rats everywhere. We definitely have lots of different animals in Australia, but we don't have rats running around like they do here. The rats some are just like huge, some are really small, but they're just like everywhere. Like you'll just be walking around the train stations at night and there's rats there. Walking through like restaurant areas by the lake and there's rats there. When I was waiting for a train one day, there was a rat walking on the railway. And I was like, be careful there, buddy. But yeah, there's just rats strolling around the city. I actually did look it up as well when I first came to Berlin. Like I was like, how many rats are there actually? Like how many rats could there really be? And apparently there is one rat to each person that lives in Berlin. So like everyone that lives here could have a pet rat. Wouldn't that be so cute? But also disgusting at the same time. Like, where do you draw the line? But yeah, that's a lot of rats. Just nice fun fact for you all today. The next little observation that I made is, which is also a very well-known observation, is that Berlin is a very multicultural city. So the first few weeks that I lived here, I didn't meet anyone from Berlin, but since then, like now I've met a lot more people that are actually from Berlin. So at first I was like, does anyone from Berlin actually live here? But yes, people from Berlin do live here. But even those people that I've met, usually like their parents are from somewhere else and they moved here. They were born in Berlin, but they're like from somewhere else as well. Or their parents are from somewhere else as well. So yes, it's very multicultural here. If you don't speak German, like you'll literally be fine. Obviously, it is a good thing to learn German, but yeah, if you don't speak German, you'll be fine here. When you're walking around the streets of Berlin, you hear lots of people speaking like Spanish, English, German, like a mix of like lots of different languages. So yeah, not knowing German in Berlin, I think is fine, but obviously knowing German is a lot better. And even just giving it an effort to learn German, or like simple phrases in German are good. But yeah, Berlin is very multicultural and very accepting and inviting. I do not feel anywhere near as, not that I felt judged in Australia, but this environment in Berlin is a lot more relaxed and a lot more inviting than I've ever felt in Australia, I guess. So yeah, Australia also has lots of very nice people. Like the place I lived in, the Sunshine Coast, and the people there were just so like lovely. But the reason that I say this is because people in Berlin, like you just always know, like our other Australian friend came the other week and he was saying too, like, you can do whatever you want because you always know you're not going to be the weirdest one in the room. And like, that's not even, being the weirdest one in the room isn't even a problem, but like, there's always something happening in Berlin. Like no one's ever being judged. Like I've seen, like when I think about it, me and my brother were talking about it the other day, like just all the weird shit that we've seen in Berlin. But it, like at this point, it doesn't even seem that weird anymore because you're just like, oh yeah, like of course that's happening. Like if you'd like, I can make a video about all the weird things that I've seen in Berlin so far, but yes. Okay, and one other thing that I actually found shocking when I came to Berlin was how respected the pedestrians and the bikers are, like on the roads. In Australia, there's literally like a joke about how there's a war between the bikers and the drivers because they're always like screaming at each other, or the bikers are in the wrong, or the drivers are doing the wrong thing. There's always like, yeah, people just like don't like the bikers, people that ride the bikes. And even I remember when I was riding my bike to school back in the day, a group of bikers even came past and were like, get off the road, like go on the bike path if you're not a professional bike rider and stuff like that. So in Germany, I can't remember exactly what the rule is, but after the age of 6, I think it is, you have to ride on the road, I'm pretty sure. Let me just look it up. Okay, I've got it. So after the age of 8, you're not allowed to ride on the pathway anymore. So after the age of 8, you have to ride on the road. Or if you're riding your bike with someone under the age of 8, you're also allowed to ride on the pathway, but you need to ride on the road. So everyone is super like nice and respectful on the road anyway. The bike paths are pretty much like another lane on the road as well. Okay, I'm so sorry, my camera died, so we have a quick change of scenery, but yes, the pedestrians and the bikers are super respected here, and the road rules for bikers are just absolutely spot on. Like, I'm too scared to ride a bike yet because I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't feel like I'm just going to crash or something. I have no idea. But yeah, one day when I do buy my first bike and I start getting on the road in Berlin, I'll be sure to strap a GoPro and bring you guys along. So that is everything for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!